Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 55-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off? Well, my husband Mickey and I had moved in with my mother. It lasted all of 2 weeks before she threw him out, and another week before she came home reading me the riot act like I was 6 years old because there were three little crumbs on the kitchen counter from me making a sandwich at lunch that I happened to miss. Yeah, and she thought she was going to berate me like I was her little child again. And listen, there were a lot of reasons I left home at 14 years old. She was a big, big, big part of those reasons, you know? Aside from her throwing me out, there were lots of reasons. Lots of reasons. I had run away for 3 years before she finally threw me out. So for her to try to play mommy dearest now was like, no, no, no. And I told her, listen, I, I, you cannot be my mother any longer. Those days are past. You had your chance, you blew your shot. You cannot be my mother. The best that you can hope to be with me at this point is my friend. That's the most you can hope for. And if you're not willing to be my friend, then I don't know what to tell you, but you are not going to treat me like I just stepped off the school bus for the first time. That's not happening. And so, listen, she was like, she got pissed. She got really pissed. She was like, if you think you're so fucking grown, which is the same damn thing she had told me when I was 14, that's not going to work well with me. So I left that night. I left that same night and I told her, for the sake of our relationship in the future, if we are ever going to have a hope of having any kind of relationship in the future, I've got to get the hell out of your house. I cannot live under your rules, and you cannot try to control who I am, what I am, or how I am ever again. That's never going to happen. It was a big blowout, but I left. I called Mickey and I met him down in the French Quarter. And Mickey had gone to stay. There was a little guy that used to run around the quarter, and he liked the Hustler Boys. He liked some of the dolls. He liked a little bit of everything, and we called him Weasel. Okay, everybody called him Weasel because, to be honest, he kind of looked like a little weasel, a little sawed-off little weasel. So that's who Mickey was staying with, Weasel, uptown, in a house that Weasel's mother had left him when she passed away, and it was his childhood home. So it was a big house uptown. It even had a basement, which in New Orleans, basements are like, they have them in some places, but they're creepy. And they're not fully underground in New Orleans either. Anyway, long story. That's a separate, they creeped me out. Okay. And it was in this house. So I went to go stay with Mickey there. And listen, Mickey's laying it on thick. He was working for some florist, and he was bringing me home flowers from work at the end of the day with little love notes written in it. And, he could be quite charming when he wanted to write shit down. Now, getting him to say it, he's not very coordinated at saying things romantically or how he feels or expressing himself. He's very stunted in that department. But when he writes down his feelings, look, like a little boy writing a note to mommy, he can be very endearing. And to be honest, in order to be with Mickey, you have to kind of be his mother and his lover. Because Mickey's mother went to prison when he was a little boy, and he didn't know her growing up. And he never really had a mother, and it showed because, you know, to my understanding, he's never really changed. But yeah, you had to be a mother figure and a lover. And so that was kind of the situation. And we're staying up there, and Weasel is not really thrilled about me being there. And then I brought Puerto Rican Tracy over, which, yeah, I dared Mickey to even look cross at her. Dared him to even look at her sideways. Do you hear me? After what had happened between them. And she didn't know that he was my boyfriend when that happened, by the way. But once she did, oh, I knew if he tried anything, she would be telling me like that. Um, so yeah, she's staying there with us, and I think Weasel and Tracy are kind of like becoming kind of a thing. It was weird. It was really weird. And I'm going to work at Papa Joe's still, okay? And so one night at Papa Joe's, a customer comes in, and it's a businessman, I would say 40, 45, accompanied by a young lady who I would say was in her 20s. She was dressed very secretarial. He was dressed in a suit, and they proceeded to watch me dance, on stage, and they were tipping me. And then the girl came over to talk to me when I got off the stage, and she said that the man had asked her to come speak with me. He was from Europe, okay? And he was paying this girl, she was his secretary and slash escort, and he was paying her very well to travel with him as his companion. He wanted me to join them for a month. And he said that if I would join them for a month, he would pay me $1,000 a day for 30 days to go travel with them. Of course, I would have been expected probably to do some things with the girl. Sorry, it's hair in my mouth. I would have probably been expected to do some things with the girl. I don't know how I would have ever done that. But $30,000. $30,000, honey. I faked worse with worse. Okay. I faked worse with worse. So I was thinking $30,000, and to be honest with you, I was thinking my bottom surgery was a big part of what I was thinking was my bottom surgery. And Mickey looked at me and said, "Absolutely fucking not." And if y'all want to know how I responded to that, y'all know the routine, darling. Be here tomorrow and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.